Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for July 23rd, 2023. So this week was a high reading week for me. I was binging in a reread, one of my favorite series, and I think I just overdid it because yesterday I could not pick up a book at all. Like, I didn't want to listen to anything. I had physical books all around me, never could pick up a book. I kept staring at them, and I had books that I kind of wanted to try or to start that are on the list that I want to do. And I just couldn't do any of them. And that was kind of sad. Anyway, so I think I kind of burnt myself out just because I've read so much already. This month is higher than most months that I read. I've read or reread or listened to over 7,000 pages. So I think I just needed a break. So yesterday I kind of did some other things and thought about some other things. And then I just watched BookTube for way too many hours because I couldn't even, I was afraid to watch a movie or something. I wasn't focusing very well. So anyway, so I just watched everybody else's vlogs and stuff. And some stat videos, which are really nice, which again, it's one of my favorite things. Anyway, so there's Cooper, and it's warm here in Oregon right now. Not as warm as some other places, but I'm tired of the 80, 90 degree weather that keeps coming and going. Just tired. I'm hot right now, and it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, so we're going to talk about the books that I read, the ones I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week, which no, we're not really. We're going to just put that as a question mark because that's how I feel right now. I don't even know if I'm going to read today. As I said, I don't usually burn myself out this much, but I just feel like I just read too much in a short period of time. So I'm just gonna first pull out most of my rereads, not all of them. I'll show the second one the last one in a minute. But I did continue rereading the Side Changing series by Nalini Singh. I finished Storm Echo, which I think I either started or was going to start last Sunday. Finished that on Sunday. And then I started Wolf Rain, which I read that through Monday. And then I started Hearts of Obsidian, which I read till Wednesday. And then Wednesday to Thursday, I read Shield of Winter. And then Thursday to Friday, I finished Shards of Hope. Again, I did these all on audio. I own them all. This is one series. There's a couple of series, as I said, that I own the audios and the ebooks and the physical books. I don't buy the hardbacks for the Side Changing series, even though it's one of my favorites. I just don't have space. And I know that I'm going to I want to read a paperback or I want to reread on audio. So anyway, so these are all done by Angela Daw. She does a great job for the series. So far. So again, this is book 21. This is book 18. This is book 12, 13, and 14. So I kind of switched. I kind of went back. So I finished the reread of the series that I did, and then I went back to the one book that I kind of skipped because I was trying to get in time for the new book, which I will talk about in a minute. But anyway, so I just want to show you that I reread all those, which I think is part of my reason why I kind of flamed out here and need a break, because I listened to a lot of those. Again, most of that I listened to at work. I mean, I did a lot of over the weekend too. And then some of those I would come home and listen to them while I was doing other things. And again, I was doing that at work too, where I was doing other things. So I think I listened a little too much. So anyway, those are those rereads. And then the other reread was I finished Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. And I'm going to admit that I did not finish this word for word. Okay. First of all, I was listening to the cast audio, I think led by Emma Thompson. And I think it's really good for people who like cast audios, where what they do is they dramatize the novel. And it's really well done. I have found that this is the third one I've tried, and I don't like them. When I listen to an audiobook, I'm not looking for a dramatic interpretation. I'm looking for read me the novel. And so that did not work out for me. So this was a struggle. I finished it, but it was not, I maybe wasn't paying quite as much attention as I should have been. This is still not a favorite of mine. I think I'm going to do a quick Jane Austen ranking. I've never done one here on this channel, I don't think. So I'm going to maybe do that for later this week. But I did sort of finish this. So it was, I mean, I think that I got it on Audible Plus. So if you have that and you like cast audios or the more dramatic interpretations of the novel, then you might enjoy that. But as I said, this is the third time I've tried one, and I've not liked any of them. And they're books that I have liked in the past, the other books that I tried. So we're just going to go with they're not for me. But again, this is Jane Austen's novel that she wrote, but she did not publish it in her lifetime. It was published after her death. And it's a satire on Gothic novels, which it really is. And it's very tongue-in-cheek, and it's also it's very hilarious. It has some good points, but it just reads really young in a lot of ways too. I do like parts of it. It's just sometimes I just roll my eyes too much in this anyway, and the drama of it kind of did that with the audiobook. So anyway, but I think this is my last Jane Austen July read. I wanted to make sure I reread this, and again, I didn't listen to it quite as closely as I probably should have. And I will, again, the next time I read it, I will either read it physically again, or I will get an audiobook that's the actual novel and not, cutting and pasting and, with drama. And so I don't know. I just didn't I don't like the cast audios. That's me. That's just my issue with it. But again, this is not one of my favorites, which is a spoiler for my ranking, but I think I'm going to do that. So I'm going to try to get that done before the end of the month. Anyway, so those are all the rereads I had. The book I, again, did most of those rereading for. Where is it? Oh, where is my, it's not, I thought it was right here on my post-it already, like where I could get to it. But again, it was book 22 in the Side Changing series by Nalini Singh. So again, I did not explain this, but this is like an urban fantasy, futuristic, world where there are three species: the people who have psychic abilities, the changelings or shifters, and humans who are all vying for power. And so this is there's a huge overarching plot to this, but there's like the first 15 books are kind of like the first season, and now we're into the second season, which is, as I said, we're on book 22. So don't start here. You will not understand it. This is one of my favorite series of all time. I reread every year. I read at least several of them. As I said, I think I read 8 of them around the time that I read the new book. I did continue to listen to the audios even after I finished this. I got this at 9:15 on Monday night because it came out on Kindle. So here on the West Coast, we get it when the East Coast gets it. Anyway, and then I started reading that night, and I did stop at 42 pages. I made myself go to bed at 10:30, which is past my bedtime. And then the next day I read the whole thing and finished it. It's one of the longer ones, but I really enjoyed this one. It just continues the overarching things. And then again, it has the one couple who's involved in here. Although we have kind of a side couple too, but we didn't get quite as much of them as I wanted, but I love the way that their story went too. This also has to do with the Stonewater Bears, which are my favorite shifters in the series. I mean, I like the other ones too, but the bears, they're my favorite, and all my favorite characters that are related to them. I really liked how this went. The ending was a freaking cliffhanger in the way as in, I don't know how it's going to go, and I have to wait a whole nother year for the next book. Ouch! Anyway, but I really, really enjoyed it. It's not like a cliffhanger as in, you don't, like, it just means little hints for next time. I meant, it's not quite the same as a cliffhanger. Maybe I'm not explaining that. But anyway, point is that now I'm worried about some characters in the next book anyway. So, but I really enjoyed this. Again, I just love these books. It's easy 5 stars for me. Sorry, I'm so invested in this series. Clearly, if I go back and reread several of the novels every year. Last year, I think I read the whole series over. Or is it the year before? I don't remember. And then again, this year, I just read 8 of the other books before this one. But I told myself I had to stop because I didn't want to reread the whole series right now. I got tired of it. But I'm not tired of it. I just meant I need to read other things. So anyway, Resonance Surge was a really good one. I think it was a little different than some of the other ones in some of the structuring. I think it was really well done with the characters. The characters were what pulled me through this. It wasn't quite so much, I mean, the romance between them was good, but not, there was very sexy times were like not there. So it was like very different that way. But I really enjoyed this one. So I'm glad I mean, again, as I said, I started reading it as soon as it showed up on my Kindle. Well, actually, I had to go back in and change my payment thing because I messed up because my credit card had changed since when I pre-ordered it, and so that credit card is no longer in existence. So I had to switch that. Anyway, so that's why it was $9.15 when I downloaded it, because I had to. Because I was like, why isn't it coming up? And then I saw the email. Anyway, so then the 2 library books that I read, I was just trying, I picked these up on whims last week, and so I just read them. I was just reading so much of the Side Changeling stuff while during, audio at work, and then I read a couple of these later in the week after I finished Resonance Surge, so that I could get these books out. I've decided to, again, cut back on my library usage. Again, this month showed that I always do during Jane Austen July. There's always stuff I pull out. And then I pulled out some extra stuff, which I didn't even need. So I'm going to, again, try to get through all my library books here in the next week or so, and then go down to 0 or take a break from the library. I need to read stuff off my shelf. Anyway, but the books that I read was, the first one was Your Guide to Not Getting Murdered in a Quaint English Village by Maureen Johnson, and all the drawings were done by Jay Cooper. So this was really not what I expected. I mean, I know it says Your Guide, so it talks about, I thought it'd be a little bit more of a guide manual. Really what it is kind of just like a little, like it'd have a picture and sometimes they had a little bit more description, and then other times it would be like a line and then a picture. And so it just wasn't what I think it was just kind of less than what I wanted it to be. I wanted more details. I wanted more things that could happen in a quaint English village. I think they covered a lot of the stuff that you would get in those kind of books, murder mysteries and cozies and Gothic novels too, like kind of like those kind of things. Like they did cover a lot. I just felt like a lot was missing too. And also sometimes they took the easy way out by only putting a sentence or two when they could have done a description of something more. I mean, again, I read this like in like an hour, maybe at the most, when I was not paying attention to it the whole way. I mean, it really is not much in here. And I'm glad I never paid for it. That's all I gotta say is I'm glad I got that from the library. But anyway, I think it was cute. Like, as in there was funny parts. I did like the drawings are interesting and funny. I liked that. I just didn't adore this or anything. I didn't think it was all that great. Anyway, so it was okay. Like it was a 3. It was no big deal. And then I picked up on a whim Martha's Vineyard's Isle of Dreams by Susan Branch. I read A Fine Romance, I think last year, and really enjoyed that. It was her trip to England, and it had stuff about Jane Austen and a lot of other places. And it was, again, she has a thing where she writes, she actually writes the text, and then she adds pictures. So she draws, and there's photographs, and I was trying to see, where's some of her drawings? Like, there's some of her drawings. So she's really a really good artist, and it's very homey and stuff. So this actually turns out to be the second book of a trilogy of memoirs. Again, I read A Fine Romance was book 3. And now I've read book 2. So I did not read book 1. And I don't think I'm going to go back just because of what I know from what happens in that book to how it reflects or how it affects this book. I don't need to go back and read that. So unfortunately, I'm probably not going to do that. But this was really showing her after some things happened in her life where she tries to get away for a while for a vacation. She ends up on Martha's Vineyard, and she's, there just to stay for a couple months to kind of refresh or decide what she wants to do. And on a whim, instead of renting a house, she buys a house. And then it's all about her changing her life from living in California, and then moving to Martha's Vineyard. And and she talks about her animals and the people that she meets here at Martha's Vineyard. And then it actually goes through her publishing, how she got started in with her books. So I thought it was really interesting. It was definitely, I liked A Fine Romance better just because it was more of a trip memoir or a travel memoir. So I really enjoyed that one, and the stuff that she saw in England and stuff. But I still liked this one. It was harder to get through due to what probably happens in book 1, which I didn't read and nor knew that it existed. Because at least this one I had seen before. I've never seen the first one. So anyway, I kind of, as I said, I'm glad I read it. I don't know if this was the time to read it, but I read it pretty fast. After I finished some of the other books, as I said, and I was reading this at night. So, I mean, again, it was interesting. It's again a library book that can go back now. So, that's all I read, which is a lot. I mean, if you count all those pages, I did read quite a bit, this last week. I do want to talk about one kind of softy enough. I am going to come back to this. I just can't do it right now. I was so gung-ho to get into this, and then I read the introduction, and then that was all I got. I started to read the main thing and I just couldn't do it right then. I was just not into it right then. It's like I lost it like within a couple days. So I will come back to The Life of Samuel Johnson by James Boswell. I have a 3-book set from some book club or some book edition. Anyway, Heritage. I'm not sure. Anyway, I bought these on vacation a couple years ago. I really do want to read this because this is supposed to be one of those biographies that, you know, was very well received for what it is. And on Samuel Johnson from the 1700s. So I do want to read this. And I read the introduction, which was really interesting. I'm glad I did that because it was very informative and kind of put me in context of these other people of actual Samuel Johnson and James Boswell, how they met and stuff. And then there's another writer, or well, another friend of both of them who made notes on here, have notes in here of her stuff that she agreed with or didn't agree with what Boswell said. Anyway, so it's I do want to read these. So I'm going to put this aside for now. I may try to come back to this for Nonfiction November and try to read the first volume. Because again, there's 3. I don't think I'm going to get to all of them. I was going to be gung-ho and read all of them this year, but no, not happening. I'm going to try to read it physically because I have these. If I start having trouble, I can get an audiobook for it. I did find one that I could get, but anyway, I'm going to put that on hold right now. I don't feel like it anymore. And again, I said I read the introduction, so at least I read 50 pages of that book, but it was all the introduction. So, let's just talk about the books I'm in the middle of right now. I did start on Friday because I was at work right before my last break. I didn't have anything to read. So I had the ebook of The Death God's Sacrifice by Jenny Norback. So this is part of the Peculiar Taste Kickstarter that I took part in last year. So this is one of the hardbacks. So they're very pretty. The other side is the Katie Robert one that I have already read. So I have not read these, and I've already participated in the second Kickstarter, which is Dangerous Tides, which I'll be getting probably in the fall sometime. I got the paperbacks this next time. Anyway, point is that I I need to read these ones. So I'm hoping that I can intermix these little short novellas throughout the year to get this series done. They're all interconnected to this goblin market. This one, The Death God's Sacrifice, is following, I think it's the sister of Medusa, and it's in the aftermath of Medusa's death, and she is working for a king because he has taken her other sister hostage, and she is supposed to go in and pretend to be a sacrifice to this death god, and it goes completely wrong. Anyway, so I've only read 25 pages of this. I didn't get very far on Friday night. I read a little bit at work, and then I read a little bit when I came home. And then as I said, so I do want to get back to that because it's only about 130 pages. So I will continue that when I feel like reading. But again, it's erotica, but it's fantasy, so it's a fantasy romance. Anyway, kind of fun. I did start on Friday The House Witch by Delim Hawk. I don't know how you say his name. This is book 1. I think it's a trilogy. I don't know how many books there are in this series. Anyway, so I bought this earlier this year when I bought a lot of cozy fantasies, and so far that is what this is. I got about 50, oh no, I got 72 pages in Friday night before I went to bed. But I didn't pick it up at all yesterday. I couldn't even think about it. We're following Finn, who shows up for a job as the cook at the king's castle for this country, who's kind of having worried about war with another country, and so he comes in and he takes over the kitchen area, which causes havoc because he does things his way and nobody else's way. And he is he is a witch, but he doesn't want everybody to know. But again, slowly things start happening that, you know, he kind of gets involved in with other people, and things start, you know, coming out. So anyway, so far I really like it. I don't think I love it. I think that's why it was easy to, you know, set it down after Friday. But again, I just didn't read anything yesterday. So I'm hoping to get back to this week to finish this out, but we will see. Like I said, I read 72 pages, so I'm hoping to get back to that. I have started the Sandman book 3. So I'm hoping to get through this before it's due back at the library. I only read 2 of the 18 issues in here. So I don't know. And again, I was not in the mood for it yesterday. So I will try I think it's due end of this week. So again, I'm down to where I have to read several issues a day to get this done. So we'll see. Maybe today will be the day that I read several of them, and then I can get back on track. I don't know. This is a weird graphic novel series. I don't quite understand how things connect. I think they're really just like little short stories of weird shit. Anyway, but I want to get through that series for some reason because it's Neil Gaiman, and I just want to say I've read the Sandman series. I don't know why. We'll see. I'm still kind of meh on it. It's just, I don't know. I don't love it. I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway, and then the other book that I think I'm going to try to focus on is a book I started a couple months ago, which is Write It All Down, How to Put Your Life on the Page by Kathy Renzenbrink. So this is a writing book, and I bought it when it came out, when it came out in paperback. I pre-ordered it. So this is one of my pre-order books. I want to read all my pre-order books this year, which I'm still doing fairly well with. I still have, I think, 4 that I need to read. But this is one about writing, and I really am trying to get back into a writing mode. I'm going to start exercising again tomorrow. I've made the decision. So I'm hoping that by starting to exercise, then I can start inserting more writing time, or, you know, make myself think about writing and then start writing again. I just feel like they're connected for me in some way, which sucks. But the point is I haven't written much of anything this year, and I want to get back into it. So I thought I'd play with this one. Again, I read about 17 pages, and I read the introduction. So I want to try to read more of this one. I have another writing book as well that I could pick up afterwards. I don't read writing books very often. It's usually when I haven't been writing and I want to get kickstarted back into writing. So most of the writing books I have, I'm looking over here, I have like a whole section of writing books, and I've read almost all of them at different times when I was trying to get back into writing, when I took a break for a while for some reason, usually something life related. But this time it's really, I'm not writing very much at all, except during November, during National Novel Writing Month. So I want to get back to where I'm writing during the year other than just at that time, because I miss it. Anyway, so I'm hoping to do that. Beyond that, so I have, as I said, multiple books that I've already started, multiple books I want to start. There's so many, still more series books I want to start for my series about series stuff, and I still have so many things I just want to do. So I don't know how this week's gonna go, because I'm so burnt out right now, and I can't, like, I'm looking at these books and I go, I should read them, and again, the Death God's Sacrifice, I only need to read 100 pages and that book is done, but I cannot make myself do that right now. And I'm looking over at the books I've bought this month that and other things that I have, and I want to read, but I can't. So the thing is though, August, I have some plans that I want to do, some things I want to do a little differently with my reading, because of some of the things I'm participating in and also want to get to. And so I might do something a little different. I might not do, I haven't decided how I'm going to do it yet. Okay. I'm still working on it, but I might, like next week might be the last weekly, reading update that I will do for, in July. And then in August, I might do, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something different. I think it matters how it goes. If I might try to vlog it in a different way, because I want to try something to do my TBRs or try to pick my books a different way, or do something different for the month of August. I don't know why I feel this way, but I feel like I need to change something up and I'm not sure what it is. So I have an idea of, kind of the whole spinner wheel thing where you pick your read and then you you read that book and then you come back and spin it again, and then I might vlog it because I don't know when I'll finish books. I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about that, but we'll see. As I said, I've tried it on spinner wheels before, but I think I've done it in a different way where I'm going by topic or by certain groups of books that I want to get to. We'll see. Again, I'm a very big mood reader, clearly. It'll just depend on how it goes. So, it may come that the first week of August, that first Sunday, I will still have a weekly reading update because I didn't do it or it didn't go well. So we'll see. But as I said, this week, I'm not going to worry about what I get done. I like to get done the books that I've started, but clearly I can't force anything right now. So I'm just going to go with the flow for the rest of this week. And hopefully by next week, I can try this new idea I have and see how that goes. I just don't know how it's going to go. So it might not happen. I'm just giving you a heads up. So anyway, I think that's it. This next week I should have up, as I said, I'm trying to get my Jane Austen ranking video up because I have never done that and I'd really like to just have that on record, I guess. And then I am going to do my series update. So I'm going to do a pretty extensive video on the series that I've read in the first 6 months of the year and what I've touched, and we'll see where we're at on that. I'm not sure how it's going to go for the second half of the year because the second half of the year is the one with more readathons that I participate in. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, I want to get that video out as well. So I'm hoping to do that this week. So I think that's it. Anyway, if there's anything you want to tell me, let me know. How is your reading going? Do you do that where you read way too much and then you just go, I can't read anymore? I'm definitely a reader who reads almost every day of my life. Like it is now very odd for me not to have a reading day. Now, when I was writing a lot, there would be more days where I wouldn't read because I was writing. So there's like an offset. But because right now my writing is so minimal, at 0, that I read all the time. So when I get back into writing, I'm thinking that's going to go back to where I'll have days where I won't read as much or won't read at all. But right now, the only time in the last couple of years really when I have not read is when either I was on vacation with family or I was sick. Other than that, I read every day. So it's really weird when I have like a day yesterday where I, perfectly healthy, did not want to pick up a book. It was weird. And I hope today is not a day like that too. But I will, if I have to, I will take the break. But anyway, okay, I've rambled well enough. I am going to go. Cooper is being cute. And Truman did walk around us, but you guys couldn't see him. But anyway, he was here. Anyway, so that's it. I will talk to you guys later. Happy reading.